Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a 3v3 played on a team matchmaker and thus also the Nox Mapgen. We are on a 20k base, we are zoomed in quite a bit, so probably 12.5k from the map size. And well, we have Team 1 right here in the southwest. I don't think I've made the east-west mistake in quite some time, so I think me messing that up is, well, I think it's no longer the standard, but well, anyway, we also have Team 2 right here actually in the northeast. The segment is actually the east. And anyway, let's introduce the players. In the southernmost slot for Team 1, in purple, going UF, opening first land, we have Pablo Escobar. Then to the north of that, in dark blue, going Aeon, and opening first land, we have Burn. To the north of that, in normal blue, going Cypern, opening first land, we have Revendell. Now, for Team 2, on their northernmost slot in orange, going UEF, opening first land, we have Fairy DL. To the south of that, in burgundy red, going Cypern and opening first land, we have Lexicon 7. And to the south of that, in normal red, also going Cypern and also opening first land, we have Darabus. Now, let's talk about the map a bit. Already talked about the size for a short moment. Let me put that up. Check reclaim amount. We are talking about around 17k reclaim on the map. Not much has been reclaimed, so then it is accurate, yep. 17,000 reclaim. We have it dotted around a few of these cliff edges, as the Mapgen likes to do it. And we have a big, well, Z-shaped letter in the, well, not letter, pond in the middle. It's a pond, shaped like a letter. Not a pond-shaped letter, it's a letter-shaped pond. Now, it is of course Matchmaker. It is also Mapgen, but I won't talk about it being Matchmaker for a short second. So it is very much balanced. Ratings very close. And currently players just expanding outwards. I don't expect to see much land aggression on this map, as we do have mountain ranges on the sides. Meaning that won't be accessible just with land spam. Well, this looks like it is pathable. So does this. If we check from the other side as well. Yeah, that is probably pathable. But this is definitely not pathable. And I doubt that the mountains themselves are pathable either. So no pathing around this. And no pathing around this either. It is probably just going to be very heavy naval and hover plays. We do have a T1 bomber out for Fairy DL. And there is a small expanding force up here, out from Revendell. But that justifies past. I think Revendell might not have noticed yet that this area is indeed not pathable for NGs and stuff. I might have spoken too soon, it looks like this is actually pathable. Though it's not pathable for large armies, so I still don't expect large land plays, as, well, it's going to be really hard to move large armies with the pathfinding nature of this game over this. Because something important to note, stuff in Subcom does not like pathing. As, well, it is still using a rather old pathfinding algorithm as far as I'm aware, which is also something that FAF really can't fix. It's just, well, it's a problem with the age of the game. It's one of the few situations where I can actually see that this game is indeed from 2007. But TMM Bomber being utilized, taking out some engineers. Only one level of veterancy with 250 mass killed. Also King of Max if I just saw that correctly. 5 units killed. About to get another engineer. Gets noticed by Ravendell, so they do dodge that. Keeping that engineer alive. Meantime, Ravendell going for the Naval factory. Not too surprising, Naval factory is already out right here for Burn. And also for Pablo Escobar. And we do have 2 Naval factories up here for Lexicon 7. Team Bomber still in the air, trying to get more stuff, but we do now have a Sky Slammer in the area that is shooting that down, and there goes the last drop of that bomb, I think. As, yeah, there are the AA missiles of the Sky Slammer hitting that and taking it out. More Naval factories being built up right here. And a bunch of early missile submarines being put out to try and harass the naval production of Lexicon. And though they immediately went for a bunch of silver attack submarines, meaning that this is basically, the counter to that is basically already out. There's another silver right here as well, so I think it won't actually. I think this will still end up just going in favor of Burn, just due to them having more submarines in this situation. And, well, there's Naval factory out for Darabas, also currently building submarines, I guess due to having noticed the submarine focus of their opponent. Or opponents. As, well, frigates are rather bad at dealing with submarines due to the fact that frigates don't have anything to shoot underwater. Another bomber coming out from Ferry. Takes on the engineers that were tasked with building the snail factories. And Ferry moving that ACU up into the into the bay of the naval production of Ravendell. Getting fired upon by the Swan Silver, but this should not matter too much. Reclaiming the factories. Well, the almost finished factory at least. And Darabas in the meantime also pushing out forward with that commander. By looks of it trying to reclaim some of these Psycho Shocks. But we do see some T-Bone torpedo launchers now being built up by Pablo Escobar. So Darabas needs to be a bit more careful, and looks like he did notice it and is pulling back. I hear bombers, right. We do still have a Scorcher right here, with 2 ranks of veterancy. It looks like, yeah, over 400 mass killed, 8 kills. Getting a lot of value, killing off another engineer. Let me just change the way I sit for a second. And yeah, continuing to fly around, continuing to cause some harassment damage. In the meantime, big force of Auroras, utilizing the fact that they are hover, make their way over the water now, forcing these submarines to actually to surface in order to get their deck guns firing onto the Auroras, to get something out against that. And now providing at least one reason to actually build frigates for the Eastern team, as they probably will need something to deal with the hover spam that has started. The Aeon having a bit of a advantage when it comes to early on hover spam, due to their due to the Aurora, the T1 tank also being hover. Just like the Seraphim, who have the hover artillery on T1. But naval production for Lexicon 7 does go down. And with that, there is no... Well, I was going to say there is no push against the just started naval production of Ferry, but no, there isn't. Still waiting a bit. We do, however, see a bunch of top bombers now coming from Darabus, harassing the production of Pablo Escobar, who has just achieved T2 Navy. A big achievement, and that is going to be very, very important. T2 Navy also about to finish for no, not for Ravendel, for Boom. No, not Boom, Burn. Names hard. There does not seem to be any investment currently into T2 Navy out from Ravendel. Though they do have T2 land. Okay, now we have the push that I was expecting a bit earlier right here. Against naval production of Ferry. Taking that out. Bit of a problem here will be those top launchers, as those will take out the submarines, or generally just normal navy. Everything except the Auroras, since those do hover, meaning that they cannot be hit by any torpedoes, since they do not in fact touch the water. But that one goes down, and now that naval factory is also about to go down, with a single Trident class frigate also coming in to support now. And to look at that, also another Trident and a Beacon. With that stuff does now end up going down. Ferry has started trying to throw up some Triads on the shoreline, which by the looks of it currently has not gone noticed, so there is nothing to actually prevent that from finishing right now. Meaning that that can now start firing into these T1 light tanks and take them out. I'm also pretty sure that that does in fact outrange frigates, meaning that, well, this will force the Navy to fall back for a second. Renegades now being utilized by Lexicon as well, just for desperate defense, and would you look at that, Wagner's moving across the bottom of the lake, built up by Darabus and making it to the other side. The T2 amphibious tanks, unlike any other amphibious tank in the game, as you can see, it does not move above the water surface, but instead the bottom of the ocean. It moves over the ground, meaning that it cannot be hit by normal direct fire, only by torpedo and depth charges, while it also has its own torpedoes to just, well, have the ability to fight on an amphibious situation. Though those torpedoes are not too amazing, and they can get a job done on larger numbers, and since those are just T2 tanks, they can be easily spammed. Lexicon pointing out that there's a lot of reclaim, and yes, that's completely correct. In this area right here, where there was the attempt to build navy, has a lot of reclaim. Of course, both from the naval factories that have died, as well as the armies or the navy that did push into the position. Wagners have made it into the base and have started taking some stuff out, leaving a clear path of destruction where they were, taking out a lot of Nexus. And being a nuisance in general. We do now see destroyers being built for Pablo Escobar. So T2 Navy now properly on the field. Also Exodus class destroyers being built by Burn. And by the looks of it, currently no T2 Navy finished for the northeastern team. Can you play for T2 Navy here? No, not right now. Currently, by the looks of it, the focus of Darabus at least seems to be just more Wagners, more of those amphibious tanks. And now Mapgen also going into a heavy focus of just mass Wagners to prove as much of a nuisance as possible, as they are rather annoying to deal with, and well, frigates are very ineffective against them, as already pointed out. you need torpedoes or depth charges to actually take them out, as they are moving across the bottom of the ocean. And the large army of them that is actually massing right here is enough to force Ravendal back for a moment. Now, Ravendal could be doing the same thing, and not only could they be doing the same thing, they are doing the same thing, after they just built up a sizable force of Ragnars, which is now moving across the water, though in response there is already a larger group of renegades out from Lexicon. That might be a bit problematic, however it is currently focusing onto the navy of Ravendal, the Norman navy, instead of just the Ragnars. Meaning that they won't do too much damage right there. But they are currently they are preventing those Ragnars from actually making proper landfall. Now, Navy, unsurprisingly for their is not looking too hot, with their whole naval production currently collapsing in on itself after being now that it's being pressured by some Valiant class destroyers and some Exodus class destroyers, with the support of a Bulwark shield boat, providing additional HP to the navy. A very, very powerful unit. While it does not have any DPS on its own, it can increase the worth of any navy you use it with by quite a lot, due to, well, just being a shield boat. Just having a rather tanky shield. Gunships right here being utilized to take out a bunch of naval production of Ravendal, and in the meantime also Wagners and top bombers to try and snap the ACU. There is also T3 air out now for Darabus, who is using a strat bomber now to get some economic damage down. And Ravendal is forced out of the water due to the top bombers and Wagners. And there is now also T3 air out for Ravendal, getting out some ASF. But looking at that, well, never mind, they do actually have some ASF already out, so they weren't really too much slower than their opponent. However, the ACU is now going down very low into the red, below 1k HP already, and due to bombers forced to go into the water. But the AoE of the Strat Bomber was just enough to take out that ACU as well, though it would have gone down very soon anyway due to the torpedoes of the Wagners. Now, Navy is firmly in the control of the Western team, completely wiping out any naval production of the Eastern one, and even having T2 Navy now. But there is still the strats flying around. And yes, you just told me... Never mind, it is currently only one strat. However, it is no longer the one of Darivus, as there is now also a strat out from Fairy, who has also achieved T3 air. And is proving to be a nuisance as well. More T2 Navy being utilized to prevent any attempt to get back into the Navy. And, well, I was about to say now the presence of Destroyer stat PD right here can be easily taken out. But a Klinkhammer has been built up as well, and that will... well, it will do Klinkhammer things and now take out the Destroyers, due to having the higher range. Airfights currently seem to be going somewhat in favor of Burn, who has now inherited the air production and I think most of the base of, 'll. 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 'will. 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 ' No, never mind, never mind. They are down to 2 ASF against the significantly larger ASF force of Fairy. It is currently being ticketed to death by a bunch of tracers. Which are, well, never mind, it's no longer even a tracer, it's just an autogun. Due to the ASF having landed. And with that there is actually a chance for the ASF of Burn to get a few slightly better trades, but not quite, as they are still behind on numbers. I know, riveting gameplay. T3 land now achieved by Darabus. Building up bricks. Funny thing about the bricks, not only do they have torpedoes, they also have torpedo defenses, making them a very, very annoying thing to deal with. Now, the Estes class destroyer can still deal with them due to having depth charges and not torpedoes, and you cannot defend against depth charges. But, well, the torpedoes on the brick aren't amazing, but they are good enough to be annoying in larger numbers. And as you can see, enough to actually sink a single frigate and also about to sink a cruiser that was doing some shore bombardment. Now, the firebase right here on the shore is now being bombarded by the Navy of Bern. And the PD just went down. Clancam about to go down as well. There it goes. So shore bombardment of this area is now open once again. We do have some more PD built up in the back line now, but that is only a matter of time until that gets fired upon by the Exodus class destroyers as well. More top bombers building up here. And those bricks getting very far. Currently making a threat into the main heavy production of Pablo Escobar. Into these arrays of torpedo launchers. I think quite a few of those have gone down, but probably not enough to actually make a big enough impact. Well, it's down to 4 now. And they will make land all of them will be on land any second now. And there they go. All of them now have made it onto land and can start causing devastation from here. They are now, however, taking some bombardment fire from the shore and some PD that has quickly been thrown up. However, let's see. Well, those bricks will probably be taken out in the process, however. But there are more bricks coming up for Darabus. Who has now also started moving some engineers into the area to start reclaiming the naval wrecks in their bay area. Those bricks have made it further, now into the backlines of Pablo Escobar, where we do now see a bunch of PD and just a ever-growing swarm of renegades, taking out the one remaining brick. In the meantime, large number of top bombers being utilized in the north against Bern's navy, who also has a sizable force of Wagners waiting in the water. The downside of Wagners compared to the other naval tanks or amphibious tanks is that, well, unlike the other ones that are hover, the Wagner is submerged, meaning that it can be hit by torpedo bombers. It can no longer be hit by normal gunships and normal bombers, but, well, it is not immune to top bombers in return. forces right here consolidating for Pablo Escobar to deal with the ever-growing threat of bricks. And Strat Bombers by looks of it now is being utilized to take out naval defenses as well, taking out a large group of torp launchers right here. Torp bombers also massing in this area now. The naval situation is not looking too great for the Western team. As there is a lot of torpedoes now being dropped into the water, taking out various things. We do see a air snipe onto the HQ of Bern. And if those torp bombers get another pass, and they do, that might be enough to go for it to go down. A small airfight ensues over top that seems to be going in favor of the Eastern team. That naval factory very low. Those engineers retasked to actually supporting the factory instead of the or repairing the factory instead of supporting it, but it was not enough, so the factory does go down. Meantime, number of bricks still continuing to increase. About to take out a Exodus, possibly, and also about to make landfall. Whalers now also coming in, providing even more harassment. Though the whaler is probably going to go down here. There it goes. More bricks make it onto the shoreline. Take out more stuff. There is a large group of renegades that is about to take them out. However. So this push probably also not going to get too far, but the air force of Darabus is immediately reacting to that. And possibly about to wipe the air of Bern. Next right here about to go down to the remaining 2 bricks. And interestingly enough, cruisers being utilized here semi-defensively to deal with the T3 engines in the area that are probably just there for reclaim. Getting some stuff there. I think the problem that Pablo Escobar is currently running into is that they can't push forward their navy due to the bricks in the water. As the torpedoes on those are, well, decent enough, and with that they cut Darabus actually got back into the navy, and well, I think the Western team just realized that, or thought that they could no longer win this, so they decided to recall. Great, there was also Maglev that just finished before Darabus. Maglev, funnily enough, very good on the navy. And also amphibious. So, fair enough, that would have probably just ended this game if it got over there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this cast, even though it was a bit shorter, at only 27 minutes game time. If you did, leave a like, or don't, I can't force you. If you want to be notified when more videos like these do come out, so more casts, you can always subscribe. It is completely free, since, well, that is how YouTube works. This was streamed live on Twitch, link to that will be, as per always, down below in the description. And I hope you enjoyed, hope to see you again in a future cast, and till then, bye!